For this project, our goal was to create a resource for BYU students.
We created an Instagram page focusing on 3 aspects of student life.
They were mental health, social relationships, and education.
If you find yourself struggling with mental health, it can be really hard to get things done at school. That's why BYU has the University Accessibility Center. Here at the University Accessibility Center, they can do tons of things to help you with all your school needs. Even in the classroom, they can give you a note taker if you have trouble paying attention. They can give you a better testing room so that you're not distracted by everyone's noises, and so much more. They can also professionally test you for any mental illness that you think you might have so that you can get a proper diagnosis and perhaps find a licensed doctor to help you. They also provide some counseling services and general help that you might need. The Accessibility Center has so many useful accommodations. This board shows you how you can get the accommodations that you might need. All you have to do is schedule an appointment, fill out a form, and they will do the rest. They will give you an appointed time for a Zoom conference where they will talk with you on which accommodations that you might need. And then that's all you have to do. They will walk you through everything else. BYU provides counseling services. You can learn more about this when you go to caps.byu.edu, or you can come to 1500 in the Wilk and learn more. My role in this project was to find easily accessible resources regarding mental health for BYU students such as myself. And throughout this process, I learned that there's so many things that you can find online or anywhere, just one research click away. And no one is alone in this process. You can find so much support and help online.
For this project, I looked through a lot of academic research on what mental health challenges college students face. One of the things I learned was that stress is the highest health impediment that college students face in regards to academic success, which is why it's so important to take care of our mental health in ways that are proven and that have been studied and proven to help our mental health, like meditation or mindfulness or exercise or therapy, counseling, all these kinds of things, medication, everything that we need to improve our mental health so we can better succeed and thrive while in college.
Utilizing the content provided by my team, along with some extra content I found/came up with, I prepared and posted helpful information and tips relating to mental health on our group's Instagram page. For example, some of the posts I created mention exercise, stress, and meditation. Exercise can help reduce anxiety, depression, and stress. Some tips for dealing with stress include taking deep breaths, listening to music, and laughing. Meditation is also a good way to reduce stress, along with other things such as increasing forgiveness and reducing rumination. Throughout this process, I not only learned about some tips for navigating my own mental health issues, but also how to explain these tips in a more engaging and relatable way to hopefully better connect with the other students needing help.
We were the social group for our project, and so we kind of split that up into 4 different categories so within the social aspect though.
So for my part, I focused on identity and labels and transition into college and figuring out who we are, who we want to be, who we want to become. And I asked Dr. Warren a couple of questions about labels and figuring out how we can establish identity as college students. And the biggest takeaway I learned from my research and surveys and feedback that I got was we're always exploring and trying to find our identity, and this is a perfect time to do it, figuring out who we want to be, who we want to become, and our social circles and who we want to be friends with. And it's important not to give ourselves labels sometimes because it can limit us, and if we feel that we're limited, we're not able to grow and reach our full potential. So being able to be flexible with our identity and figuring out who we want to be and becoming our best selves.
And then I researched the need to belong because it's really easy to feel isolated here at college, and it's crucial for both our physical and mental health to find places and people who we feel really connected with. So on the page I posted a lot about how to cultivate healthy relationships and just different tips for how to do that. And it was really awesome to research that and then implement it into my life, because I feel like my relationships have been strengthened because of the research that I have done. And yeah.
And my part kind of piggybacked off of the identity and the need to belong, because once we have those, the next step is to put ourselves out there. If we don't put ourselves out there, we're not going to be social. We might be shy naturally, and so we might need to just push ourselves to do that. So in my studies, I found that the key to all this is to have self-confidence. And as we continue to work on our self-confidence, we need to make sure that we're not comparing ourselves to others, because everybody's different. That's part of being human. No two people are the exact same. So while you might associate with the popular, or the outgoing, the shy, whomever it may be, it's great as long as you focus on yourself and just trying to be the best person you can and being self-confident about it.
Like Marlee said, we're trying to find who we are and who we want to be in the world, and through these social settings that we can find on campus, especially after we've moved away from home and need to find our own self-identity, we can go to these social activities so that we can learn how to be more independent, self-aware, and gain self-esteem. Self-awareness helps us to become leaders, and when we do become leaders, we can find our role better if we have our own self-esteem and know exactly who we are and what we bring to the table. And so it's great to get out there and be a part of social situations so that we can learn how to better progress ourselves and be better helps in the workplace.
Hey guys!
Hey guys! So for our project, we talked about education and tips to help people educate themselves properly. So some of the tips that we researched and decided were a lot of test prep tips actually. So the first one was to actually study, and to study well, because the more you study, the more prepared you are.
The second one we talked about was to get sleep. It's so important. Get those 8 hours in.
Preach.
Yeah, it'll just help you be way more prepared and way more focused for your test.
Yeah, and make sure that when you're taking the test, you read the instructions carefully, because teachers like to pull a sneaky one on you, and they'll like mix up some words, so then you're like, oh no, maybe I answered it wrong, you know? Look for the most correct answer, not the correct one, you know? Stuff like that.
Yeah. It's also important to read through the test and like just do a quick overview. If you have extra time, go back through the questions and look through any that you weren't sure on or just maybe were iffy about, and that can be super helpful.
Yeah. The next one is just to like take a breath, chill out. Like if you're stressed, like really stressed while you're in the testing center, just take a second and meditate for a second. Maybe like a minute. If you have a time test, maybe just say like a little prayer, or just take a deep breath and just control your breathing so that you can calm down and take your test to your best ability.
Also, just take a second to enjoy life. There's so many cool things out there. Make sure you get good nutrition and not just skinny pop. The last part of our project was to make some leaves, and we wrote some inspiring quotes on them, and we hid them in the library and just handed them out to people, and it was so fun. Hope you enjoyed these tips. Thanks for watching.